to the middle of the field. Blitz with a follow-on opportunity, not able to connect. Wispy will send it away. Intercepted in the midfield. So a couple of interesting chances for both sides, but it's turned into a little bit of a midfield battle as Blitz, again, unable to make contact with the ball. One-touch aerial goes wide.
Yeah, Blitz just having a little bit of a hard time right now hitting those aerials, but I can see he wants it and he will get it. But T-Mac sending it downfield into the side will get intercepted by Wispy, who gets a bang directly at the net, but backwoods perfectly timed to get there as Matt does bump him. But the pressure from Pittsburgh still absolutely hammering this Jersey side as Wispy gets a pinch. T-Mac 50s it onto the backboard, but Backwoods going to be able to clean up his teammate's mistouch and send it off to the corners. He gets the play around Matt Milley, but Peyton there to intercept it in the midfield.
Good bout of possession from this Pittsburgh Phantoms team. Jersey will be able to clear the zone only temporarily. Matt Milley, no boost, but they will take another opportunity at the net. Blitz touch towards the near side. It's going to come off the backboard. T-Mac with the miss. Peyton with an even bigger miss. Another opportunity goes by the wayside for the Pittsburgh Phantoms. They still looking for that first goal to go on the board in their favor. They had a couple good opportunities so far in this game, but so far none of them have been able to find the back of the net. Big Peyton rounding around the corner into the far side wall. Matt Milley infield looking for a shot. It's turned aside by Backwoods. Big Peyton coming from the corner, looking to find somebody in field. Not able to get any shot to go through on target, and Jersey will eventually clear it away. The possession held by Pittsburgh for the most part, and Matt Milley again with another opportunity turned aside by the Jersey Jackals. And you can see that physical play as Matt Milley rotates, cuts themselves a little bit short and goes for that demo, but unfortunately they don't connect and they're not able to get anything to go through. Time running out for the Phantoms.
Starting off this game, we saw a lot of aggression coming out from Jersey as they find a second goal off an unfortunate whiff, and Backwoods just there to punish them for the mistouch from Peyton.
You can see Blitz, as long as they don't have to go too far into the air, they're able to make contact with the ball solidly on the ground. And you can see Peyton had an opportunity on the backboard, but it's just one of those things where it's difficult to read in the heat of the moment. Unfortunately for Pittsburgh, they now find themselves down by 2 goals, and all of the good opportunities that they've had so far don't really mean a whole lot if you're not able to convert at least a handful of those into goals. Seems to have been the case throughout game number 1 for this Phantoms team. T-Mac wanted the sidewall double, not able to get there. One pad to their name will get beat out by Wispy, and it's another great infield look from Big Peyton. Matt Milley a little bit too far back, but they'll be able to dunk on the sidewall. Wispy, try as they might, cannot put that one on target, interfered with by the defense of the Jersey Jackals. And as time expires with that multi-goal lead, this will be game number 1 going the way of Jersey. Just as soon as this ball touches the ground, Pittsburgh might have a little bit to say about it, but cannot launch one more shot on target. So Jersey will have a clean sheet going into game 2.
Keep in mind, though, this is still game 1. These teams, this is still preseason as well. So these teams are still getting used to each other as well as their opponents. So yeah, it was kind of expected for one team to either just absolutely blow out the other team or just straight lose. But the real test here is how does Pittsburgh turn around and pick it up from this game? Because they were playing really good offense. They just couldn't find the shots as Jersey was also playing some really strong defense.
Absolutely agree. And Pittsburgh, we talked about it at length in that game. They had their chances on the offensive end, none more so than that open net that just clanged off of the crossbar and led to the first Jersey Jackals goal. If that goes a little bit differently, then Pittsburgh starts out on the front foot, and we might see a little bit of a change in terms of the Jersey Jackals play style when they're forced to play from behind. But as it stood, Jersey goes up 1-0. They eventually capitalize on a second opportunity, and they are able to take that all the way to the bank. So we'll see if they're able to capitalize on that momentum as we move into game number 2. But for Pittsburgh, I don't think there's a whole lot that they necessarily need to change. They just need to find a little bit better shooting mechanics and get a couple of those opportunities to go in.
I completely agree. If they can just pick it up a little bit on that and find the shot accuracy that they need, or even, you know what, maybe step in, send that first man to pass it and demo one of the defenders of Jersey. But just those little changes could potentially give them the lead, and a substantial lead at that.
We've been searching for those demolition plays, those bump plays to kind of interrupt the defensive capability of Jersey, and it's going to work to almost good effect as it still goes off of the iron. Being able to strike early might have been the lift that the Pittsburgh Phantoms needed, but unfortunately, defense rallied to the occasion for the Jersey Jackals and kept them out of the net. Opportunity looking for Jersey if they're able to hold the zone, but it's a little bit awkward for them to deal with along this near side wall. They're going to be bounced up and over the defense of the Pittsburgh Phantoms, but they'll be able to take it to the side.
Peyton here trying to get to that pass out from his teammate, not quite able to. His teammate will send it, but Matt coming in to intercept it, sends it off the backboard, and Wispy not quite able to find the shot as it rings off the post. Staying in that midfield though. Peyton looking for a shot of zone as Blitz will send it off to the sidewall here. Backwoods takes the pop, looks to get it downfield into the corner, gets the pass off of the corner out to his teammate, but unfortunately no one there to take the shot as Wispy recovers the ball, sends it up the sidewall, tries to get a little downfield, doesn't get the touch he wants, and intercepted by Blitz.
50 goes in the way of Blitz, but no boost until they're able to secure that corner away from Matt Milley. Didn't really seem to need it too much as they'll secure their own midfield 100 pad and rotate back in behind their teammates. Two players looking along this near side wall. Wispy wanted the control and wanted the outfield touch, but they're not able to quite get it. Matt Milley with a touch over. Only play it neutrally along towards the near side wall. Backwoods looking for a double, trying to find a teammate. It will find T-Mac, but again, nothing really direct in terms of being able to focus the ball at the net for the moment. Backwoods, open space. Blitz is going to have to turn tail and play a little bit of defense as they track back towards their own corner. Taking the ball around, up, and off of the ceiling. They're going to have a helper in T-Mac to get the ball all the way down the field, and Pittsburgh will have to play a little bit of defense.
Yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of this Pittsburgh defense this game, which is a good thing for them, especially having come down 0-2 in the last match. But T-Mac looking for a shot as Peyton gets a wonderful save on that goal line to Blitz. They're in the corner, tries to get it back around in front of that net, but Matt Milley able to get control here, and unfortunate beat for T-Mac, taking it right away from Milley off his hood, and the ball gonna bounce out of the corner. Blitz right behind it as he pushes it to mid to backwood, but Milley right there to intercept as he bangs it off the sidewall down. T-Mac pinches it up, but is it gonna be enough? Wispy up, drops it down, and unfortunately right off the crossbar, but Peyton right there to keep that pressure on, and this is really heavy pressure coming out from Pitt.
Shots coming at a premium for Jersey. As you point out, they've been held in their defensive end for majority of the first half of this game. They have one shot to their name, and they will not be able to get a second one as Blitz gets taken off of the field. Backwoods intercepted. T-Mac. Blitz looking for a chip over one. It's an open net. Can they finish? They'll put it off and they'll post it in.
Yeah, just a good passing play coming out from Jersey as Backwoods passes it back to Blitz. He gets the play around the defense and then just rings it off the side post and in. You can't ask for much more, and that is a great way to take it up 1-0 with 1:50 left.
Off of the ensuing kickoff, it's one in the direction of Blitz. Backwoods trying to set up T-Mac. It will be end up a back pass, and that's going to be rolling towards the net. It will be just off target. Able to capitalize on the momentum from the first goal as of yet, but we'll see Pittsburgh try to climb their way back. They've been in this position in game one before, and just like game one, they're now down 2-0.
Yeah, Wispy trying to get it out of the corner there, but unfortunately feeds it right to T-Mac to send off that backboard, and then right back to himself, and Matt just not quite ready for it. Just well-placed timing and well-placement on the shot from T-Mac as we continue the game 2-0 in the favor of Jersey, and we saw this last game where Pittsburgh went down 2-0. They started to pick it up towards the end. Can they do it again and this time start capitalizing as a double commit turns into a whiff from Jersey as it does get 50 back onto this Pittsburgh backboard. Wispy will be the one to send it down to the corner, but T-Mac, he's just sitting there waiting, and a good demo coming out from Matt. Blitz pops it up, looks for a shot, not quite able to find it as Wispy will send to the corner, takes control here. Backwoods, though, gonna be the one to 50, but no one there to take the shot from this Jersey side.
Seen Pittsburgh try to execute their physical play style, but it really doesn't have seemed to have garnered any sort of effect on the offensive end. They've been utilizing it a little bit more so on defense to try and mitigate the attack from Jersey. A couple quick strikes from the Jackals have put them in front. So Pittsburgh right back in familiar territory, unfortunately for them, from what we saw in game number one. And as time continues to run out, unless something changes rather quickly, they might still find themselves in the same fate as what they saw in game number 1. Jersey will continue to press. Blitz takes that boost away. They look for a demo. They try to interfere with the defensive line on the goal, but able to save that ball away. It might be all for naught, though. As Pittsburgh unable to mount any sort of counterattack. The ball still within their own defensive zone. Pops up. And again, as time expires with that multi-goal lead, it will be Jersey able to take away game number 2 and put themselves on series point.
Jersey just playing this absolutely perfectly. For a team that just formed, I don't know how much time these guys have together, but they are showing that they have meshed well and that they're playing really well off of each other. And that is a very good sign for them if they can keep this momentum rolling into the season and just not let things get away from them.
We talked in the first half of this game how shots were coming at a premium for Jersey. They had 1 shot on goal throughout the first 2.5 minutes of this game number 2. But then you can see the second half was a completely different story. It was more of the game 1 Jersey that we saw. They outshoot the Pittsburgh Phantoms 7-3 in terms of overall shots on target. And it's really more of the same, I think, continuing on from what their game plan was coming into this series, even though they were outpossessed and really spent a lot of time in their own defensive third. Those 2 quick strikes gave them a little bit of breathing room down the stretch. They were able to execute a little bit better than the Pittsburgh Phantoms. Didn't really see a whole lot of picture perfect opportunities for Pittsburgh. It was a little bit more of a struggle to get anything going on offense compared to what we saw in game 1. They're going to have to rectify something, because if not, then they're in danger of getting perfect swept out of the tournament.
One of the biggest things I did notice about that last game too is you notice Pittsburgh had 3 shots, but Jersey didn't have to get a single save on any of those shots, which means they just need to bring those little details, maybe slow it down on your shots, give yourself a little more time. You have more time than you think you do, so take that time, find the angle on the shot, and make sure it makes it in.
Game 3 continues on. Blitz with a opportunity 50 away. Everybody for Jersey pushed up. This could be a breakaway opportunity for Pittsburgh. Matt Milley taking it all the way down the field, intercepted and caught across to the near side. Big Peyton putting it up high. Nobody able to follow on. And Pittsburgh will come away empty. Opening 30 seconds, very exciting, and it seemed to be that way throughout this entire series so far. Matt Milley off of the back of Big Peyton trying to run interference. It's saved on the goal line, and it's almost in, but still somehow kept out by the Jackals.
Just absolute insanity on that defensive end. Gets a bump, still manages to get the save, and then immediately turning around, putting pressure on Pittsburgh and taking it to their defensive end. Wispy not quite able to get the touch he wants, as Matt going to be forced to jump to beat out T-Mac. And fortunately, that puts a lot of the Pitts players in a very awkward position as Blitz gets a double demo. Backwoods sends it to the corner looking for the pass, but Matt going to spawn perfectly in that corner to intercept it, send it back towards that midfield. T-Mac just not letting go, and Backwoods sitting in that backfield will get the catch, but Matt Milley finding the open net and will find the corner.
And you can see on the near side that overcommit from Jersey left 2 players out of position, and Backwoods having a offensive player right in their grill could only do so much, and that much was forcing it off of the sidewall. Unfortunately, that rebound puts it right into the path of another offensive player for Pittsburgh, and they get their first goal of this series, and it's going to be a crucial one if they're able to maintain this kind of momentum. Big Peyton looking for a shot on, but T-Mac will recover and keep it away.
Pressure right now from Pittsburgh is what we wanted to see from the beginning, and as T-Mac does get it down to the Pitt side, it really comes down to, can Jersey capitalize on this opportunity? And unfortunately not quite able to, as Wispy gets it downfield to the midfield, gets a pinch with Matt, tries to recover, does get the recovery into the touch off the backboard, but Backwoods going to be there to drop it down and not quite able to get it out where he wants, as Big Peyton going to make contact, and an unfortunate double commit turns into a 50. It stalls it as Wispy tries to find the shot, but Backwoods just back just in time as he does get the clear off the sidewall, but is met by Matt Milley, who does not do much with it as T-Mac gets the clear.
I think it's a little bit more than a clear as it turns into a goal for T-Mac. You can see there's a little bit of interference running upfield by Backwoods that leaves the defense a little bit out of sorts, and that split second of rotational delay leads to the opening that T-Mac needs and is able to equalize this game. Back on even footing between these two squads. And in the back of your mind, if you're Pittsburgh, you're like, oh no, here we go again. Even though they've finally gotten themselves on the scoreboard, everything up to this point would lead you to conclude that Jersey really only one more goal away from completing this sweep. Pittsburgh obviously has a little bit more on their mind than that, and they got an opportunity as a demolition finally connects, and finally the opening that they need comes through to fruition, and they're able to get their second goal.
Yeah, Matt coming through, grabbing that corner boost, taking the demo, but Wispy right there with the pinch off the sidewall around the corner, passes it right back out to himself, scores it. That play right there all together between both of those players is absolutely textbook. Take the demo and find the quick shot.
Seems like we've had a couple communicative issues for both teams, really. The amount of double commits has seemingly gone up in this game compared to what we saw in the previous two, but I think it's hurting Jersey a little bit more than it's hurting Pittsburgh because their opportunities have been able to be scored relatively easily compared to what we saw in games 1 and 2. And when those demos connect, I was going to say, prior to their first goal going in, they had everything set up but the finish so far. And unfortunately for Jersey, when those get going, it seems like it's just going to be a trail of destruction in the wake of a goal going into their net. At the moment, Jersey trying to collect themselves, but absolutely running over the defense is Matt Milley, who will open the door for Wispy to put in the third goal.
Again, Matt with the demo, just opening up this net. It's such an effective play strategy, and I love to see them starting to get those demos now on that defense or on that offensive end. I know we talked about how they were doing really good about using them on the defensive end, and now they're making the most of demos all across the field. And it's what I love to see is we get a double demo here from Backwoods and Peyton. Matt gonna have a little bit of a double commit with Wispy, but does get the clear down to the corner, and Wispy keeping a little bit of pressure here as he just not quite able to find contact, and back or blitz, clearing it down to T-Mac. T-Mac gets the clear across, but Peyton up early to get that touch, keeping it on this purple side.
This is one of the things I think we're expecting to see, especially in one of the earlier games where there was such a big disparity in the amount of possession and the amount of field position held by Pittsburgh compared to Jersey. You can only keep the ball on your side so much and expect to come out on top, but as you progress further up the field, Jersey's going to have an opportunity, and Backwoods going to bring themselves back within one. Jersey still has a chance under 40 seconds to play.
Yeah, Backwoods putting on a really nasty shot, forcing Peyton to jump for that, get the touch that he may not have necessarily wanted, but had to get, and it just dropped right down to Backwoods. Backwoods already ready to take the shot, or was it? I'm sorry,
Either way, 30 seconds to play. Jersey with the launch of a shot almost finds upper 90. They could not convert, and that might have been the best opportunity for them as time continues to tick away. Blitz will have to turn around and challenge Wispy almost immediately at the midfield line. Backwoods off of the respawn. Wanted to go for the ball, but they'll have to go end to end if they want to find a way to tie this game. As time does expire, Wispy will put one more goal to go through, and that will secure things for Pittsburgh.
the hat trick for Wispy here, jumping up early, getting the touch right over Blitz, dropping it down just in time for that 1 second. This is definitely a good momentum shift for Pittsburgh. They're going to be feeling good after this one. They have to be. You just lost 2 games in a row, 0-2, and now you come back and win it 4-2.
So the margin for each game in this series has been 2 goals. And the interesting thing is for Jersey that they have scored 2 goals in each game so far. Unfortunately, while it was enough in games 1 and 2, when we turn our attention to what we had in game 3, Pittsburgh, their offense came to life, and it came very emphatically. Wispy with that hat trick will top the leaderboard with the MVP honors, 3 goals on 4 shots. And although the goals came in favor of Pittsburgh, it's still a little bit dubious in terms of who had the overall shot advantage, as Jersey still had a pretty good sense of chances on the offensive end with their overall shot total.
Both teams putting on 7 shots. Pittsburgh, though, the big difference maker there. Yes, Wispy got the MVP, but Matt coming through, opening the net up for Wispy for 2 of his goals. That is such a big thing to be able to recognize. And I don't think it gets enough attention on the people that have actually made those moves.
And as we pointed out in that game 3, as soon as those demos start connecting and as that space starts opening up, it gets a little bit more dangerous for Jersey because they might have been accustomed to being able to kind of play around it. But once those start connecting, it kind of leads to or necessitates a shift in that play style as Big Peyton starting off with a bang. There was also a demolition occurred right before that from Jersey. So both teams wanting to exercise that edge. Pittsburgh will start off game 4 with no more lives remaining. They will have to complete the reverse sweep if they want to move on in this preseason tournament. Although grabbing that momentum in game 3 could prove to be effective. See who gets on the board first in this game 4.
That seems to be the biggest thing, is who scores first. And Backwoods looking to find an early goal here. Unfortunately, an amazing demo coming out from Peyton will stop Jersey from finding a shot opportunity, and Blitz gonna have to challenge it at the midfield as Wispy takes it up, finds a 50 with T-Mac, but it will remain in this orange side as no one quite able to find a touch. Blitz finds the shot across the net.
The important first goal goes the way of the Jersey Jackals. Unfortunately, grabbing that corner boost for Big Peyton could not get back in time to defend the shot. Running a little bit of interference as well was Jersey. You can see that lead player coming across the face of the net. So both of these teams electing to play a little bit more physical than we saw in the first 2 games. Definitely picked up a little bit more as Big Peyton has an open net to shoot at. That one's going to walk all the way in. The overcommit from Jersey leads to a counterattack on the other end. Pittsburgh is tied the game.
Overcommits, one of the most dangerous things that are so easy to fall into, especially Linguini, Fetley. They happen a lot. And so to be able to identify that, capitalize on it, the passing play across to Big Peyton to just send it in was great game awareness from these players.
And a unfortunate bounce for the Jersey defense off of the corner from this kickoff leads to an open opportunity for Wispy to just slot it in. That's 2 quick goals, rather uncontested for Pittsburgh. So after conceding the first goal, they now find themselves leading. And Jersey, again, for the second straight game, going to find themselves playing from behind. We'll see if that leads to some sort of adaptation from what we saw in game 3. Because if not, well, they could be staring down the same result that they had previously.
That's the biggest thing, is it happened in game 3. It's time to adjust this. Wispy putting on a nice power shot coming out, but will get saved by Backwoods. And the pinch finds its way all the way down to the side as T-Mac gets the catch and finds the shot.
Both teams scoring seemingly at will, but it doesn't really help if the defense doesn't make contact with the ball. And we've seen that on both sides to rather dubious effect for the defenses involved. But the offense, they'll take that 8 ways from Sunday. As the kickoff goes towards Backwoods. Wispy having a little bit of difficulty on the backboard, saved away by Matt Milley, who will continue this run. They're all alone in the offensive end, able to secure that corner boost away from the Jersey Jackals. So 2 players on limited boost. Blitz is going to come around. Try as they might to get themselves up towards that ball. They're not able to make contact with it. Big Peyton off of the backboard. It's uncontested for Matt Milley towards the near side. Found nothing but the defender of the net.
Just an unfortunate situation. Defender playing the perfect position for that shot. It was a great shot nonetheless, and Pittsburgh still keeping this offensive pressure so heavy as an open net happens. Wispy finds the 50 with T-Mac in.
Everybody for Jersey available in to defend this shot, but Wispy with a 50 on the goal line. Simply a larger mass behind the ball puts it over the head of the defender and into the net, and Pittsburgh recaptures the lead. How long are they going to be able to hold it is the question. They're able to get another goal to go through and establish another multi-goal lead that could spell a little bit of an issue for the Jersey Jackals. As it stands, the deficit is 1. Jersey with a 2v1 opportunity, putting it towards the far post. Big Peyton with a big save to keep the lead firmly in the hands of the Phantoms.
Phantoms looking to try to get that 4-2 lead again. Seeming like that just so far happens to be Jersey's number. I'd love to see them break that, find a third goal here and tie it, but so far unable to do so as they do get an opportunity here, but Wispy gonna get the save across the net. Peyton there to recover it, keeps control, gets it over one, gets the 50 with the other, and it's passed out to Matt Milley, who gets another 50 as well, but Blitz gonna be there to recover it, and the bump coming out does throw Matt just out of the way to hit the 50 with Blitz as Backwoods gets a 50 of his own. Peyton there to recover it, taking control, gets it around one, gets a 50. Blitz gonna try to stop, but will get the 50 with Matt Milley back into his own corner, and Wispy there to 50 it himself, looks for the shot, not quite able to find as it rolls up over the open net. Will anyone score? Matt Milley will be there.
Challenge after challenge after challenge going the direction that most benefits the Pittsburgh Phantoms, and try as the Jersey Jackals might, they just could not get a 50 to go their way. And this is the dangerous aspect that we talked about with Pittsburgh having now established a multi-goal lead. It's in danger of Jersey falling a little bit too far behind, but Blitz says, you know what, we'll just take our opportunities as they get them off of the kickoff. And that rebound from the corner, now it's Pittsburgh's opportunity to have difficulty with that read. Jersey slots it in. It's back to a 1-goal game.
Just incredible placement right there. And as we go into the next kickoff, I'm really interested to see if Pittsburgh is able to keep increasing this lead, keep it at this 2-goal lead, as Backwoods looks for the double, not quite able to find it. Wispy there to recover in that midfield, gets a bang out to the corner, looking for a demo, not quite able to find it as T-Mac keeps it off in this corner. Instant challenge by Matt Milley, keeps it on the side for just a little longer as T-Mac does get it down to the side of Pitt. Blitz pops it up, but two players going to be there from Pittsburgh, able to keep that ball out of the net, and a little skim there coming out. Wilson it even farther into Jersey's side as the pop comes out from Blitz. He stays up in the air to get a touch. Will he get challenged by Wispy? He will, but neither of them able to quite find the contact they want.
Ball goes across to the far side. Wispy will collect. They had full boost, so nobody's going to take that midfield 100 pad for the moment. Wispy takes away the corner boost from the Jersey team. Defensively, a little bit lacking in terms of their overall boost economy, but as time is running out, Jersey's going to have to mount something to go towards the Pittsburgh Phantoms net. Ball is in the air. It will remain so for only a moment as Pittsburgh has now won 2 in a row. They've forced a decisive Game 5.
Pittsburgh, an absolute turnaround from the first 2 games, stepped up that offensive pressure the way they needed to, and it's been enough so far. If they can pull a 2-goal lead on Jersey, Jersey just cannot quite seem to bring it back. And I don't know if it becomes a mental or a miscommunication thing. I know they can do it. They showed us they can bring it back within 1. Now, just to either not let that happen or bring it back and take the next game to win the series.
You can see in the far right column, there's not really a large difference in the overall amount of demos, so both teams electing to play rather physically, and we've kind of noted that throughout this series as it's gone on. But we'll again draw your attention to the shot column as well. This time, Pittsburgh with a rather decisive edge in the overall shot total compared to what Jersey has been able to put on. And that's kind of surprising given what Jersey was able to accomplish in the first 2 games. Seems like now Pittsburgh's got their wheels underneath them. They've got a little bit of the momentum. Jersey's going to have to find something in the tank to stop them. They haven't been able to do it for 2 straight games.
We did see it though in game 1 and 2 where we know they have the ability to beat this Pittsburgh team. It's just, the question is, did they use up all of that energy at the beginning of the series, or have they been trying to reserve some for this Game 5?
As we move to Wasteland for this game number 5, it's going to be Pittsburgh off of the kickoff. Wispy will watch that ball as it goes in. Big Peyton will get credit for it. And it might be the beginning of the unraveling unless Jersey has found a way to stop the bleeding, because they gave up the first goal in, I believe that was game 3. It did not go their way. And while they found the first goal in game 4, it didn't go their way either. So again, playing from behind doesn't seem to be the strong suit for this Jackals team. We'll see what they've got in the tank and what they've got in terms of their mental capacity to be able to well, look at that. They try as they might to keep that ball out. It's Wispy throwing it into the net.
Backwoods gets a bounce, tries to get the clear, and Wispy just a little bit faster, able to find the pinch. No one on the defense for the Jersey Jackals quite expected that to happen, and we see that 2-0 lead I was talking about at the end of the last game. As soon as Jersey gets down 2, it almost starts to look a little dire. The big thing is, can they bring it back this time, as they do have the offensive pressure here, but Matt getting the clear downfield as T-Mac jumps, will get the touch, but it's just right back to Wispy. Sends it up to the sidewall, not quite able to make contact for the next touch, but does find the 50 with Backwoods. It will be crossed over to Matt, but Blitz there to take the ball as T-Mac coming in for a 50. Does find it, gets it in his favor, but not quite able to do a whole lot with it as Wispy looking to find another shot, and he will.
A long shot from the midfield stripe, and Wispy will get their second goal of the game. They could have had 3, but they elected for the first one to go through and give all credit to Peyton. And really, even though there's a lot of time left on the clock, Jersey has a lot of work left to do in front of them. After going up 2 games to none in this series, it's looking more and more likely like Pittsburgh has found themselves in full control. I'm wondering what exactly Jersey has in mind for them to be able to bring themselves back into not only this game, but it is also into contention for the series win. Because as of right now, it's all Pittsburgh. It looks like that's going to continue as Wispy will finally find their hat trick. It's the 4th on the board.
Wispy, 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 again and again and again. We are saying his name on these goals. What is going on? They just cannot stop him, and it's between him and Matt working together so well as Big Peyton coming in. This whole team, the first couple games, I was a little worried for him, but after game 3, they have completely turned it around as T-Mac looking for a shot and will be followed up by Backwoods.
Now, all comebacks start with the first goal. They've got that one on the board, and now they've shown that they're able to not only follow things up, but they're able to kind of work and coordinate together as a team. So that was one of the things I was a little bit worried about. Their play style had kind of gotten away from what had brought them success in the first 2 games, but now that they have that kind of understanding, they know that they have to band together and play as a team in order to counteract this Pittsburgh Phantoms offensive pressure. So the longer that they can hold possession in the zone, I think it will benefit them. The problem is going to be, do they have the boost economy to do that? And it looks like another overcommit is going to be a death of this Jersey Jackals defense as Peyton will roll it in.
Just an unfortunate little overcommit there. Backwoods not quite able to grab the mid boost on his way back, and Peyton catching the flick over from Matt will be able to bring it in, giving the 5-1 lead. And at this point, I know there's still a lot of game to go. Anything can happen, but it's kind of looking like a runaway game from Jersey right now.
The issue with a successful comeback is you have to stop the bleeding at some point. And so far, Jersey seeming like they have not been able to manage that task. And as the ball keeps bouncing in front of their net, and as the possession just keeps going more and more towards Pittsburgh, even though they've got more than half of the game left to kind of rectify the hole that they're in, becoming a little bit less and less likely. But if they can get a second goal to go through, then that deficit becomes a little bit more manageable. The issue, like we talked about, that they kind of have to hold possession in that zone. And if they can't do that and the ball keeps going over your head, then you really don't have any leg to stand on.
That's going to be their hardest part, is stopping that bleeding. They're trying to get the goals, which is putting them in a more aggressive mind state. They're having a little bit of overcommit issues. And Pittsburgh noticing that, just sending the ball high and far as quick as they can to the back of the net as Big Peyton finds a kickoff goal.
Well, given the way that this series started, I wasn't really expecting an unscheduled departure to South America, but we have since entered the city limits of Rio de Janeiro. The Pittsburgh Phantoms have put 7 on the board to the Jersey Jackals' lone goal so far. Big Peyton, the big story, with now 4 goals in this decisive game number 5. And right behind them is Wispy with the hat trick of their own. And unfortunately, Wispy a little bit too far outside of the play, so T-Mac will be able to get one back for Jersey. If they can keep this kind of pace up, then maybe they might have a chance. And obviously, as someone who's a little bit more competitive minded, who likes to see more competitive Rocket League, we would like to see Jersey find their way back into this game. But given the way that the series has played out and the way that things have gone so far, it's going to be a tall order.
I'd love to see it as well. I want to see them bring this back. 5 goals in 2 minutes, it's very doable, but the way Pittsburgh has been controlling this ball, it's definitely going to be a tough task, and they've got a lot of work ahead of them still. But they've been putting on a lot more pressure here as Blitz and T-Mac not going to be able to find it in Wispy, banging it down towards that net again and sending it out mid for Matt. Matt able to find the touch off the corner, will bounce out to Blitz as Peyton forced to retreat here. Will get the recovery, pops over Blitz, gets the pop, not quite able to find it over backwoods as Matt forced to take the challenge, and Blitz getting the pop off the recovery, looking for a shot, and will he find it? Yes, he will.
Sometimes that's all it takes. You just get a little bit of a fortunate bounce. You get it over one, and then the last defender a little bit too far away and not in the right position to make that challenge. So now 2 quick strikes from the Jersey Jackals have brought the deficit to, well, 4 goals. So it's a little bit more manageable than it was when it was, 7-1. But now a little bit less time on the clock for the Jackals to rectify the situation. And as long as Pittsburgh just keeps taking players off of the field, it's going to be a monumental effort required for Jersey to not only stay on the field, but to get themselves into a position where they're able to score multiple goals in quick succession. Got an opportunity, but Blitz is not able to feed that ball into the middle of the scoring area. You can see T-Mac, I think they've just resigned themselves to what this series has going to be. Everybody's just going for demos at this point, leaving to an open net once again, and Wispy will tie Peyton and get their 4th goal of this game.
You hate to see it if you are a fan of Jersey, but Wispy just getting an absolutely monumental 50 with backwoods, popping it up in the demo again, keeping there from being a 3rd man back. Pittsburgh, what happened to you? What happened in games 1 and 2? I want to know. Because I want to know, was it just some warm-up, some miscommunications? Because now you guys are giving an absolute masterclass in this division. Matt taking it down to the side of Jersey, gets a pop. Won't be able to find a teammate as Backwoods gets the clear, but Wispy ready to strike. Gets it down to the corner, Blitz out to the mid, and Backwoods getting there just in time to keep the shot from coming out.
And I think we've seen more egregious comebacks than 5 goals in 30 seconds, but as the 10-second timer is on the clock, it might be the end of the road for the Jersey Jackals in this preseason tournament. A dominant showing by Pittsburgh in the last 3 games of this series. They complete the reverse sweep, and they will move on to face Mexico City in the semifinal round.
Yeah, congratulations to Pitt. You guys had a massive turnaround. The aggression at the end was amazing. You guys picked it up, and you just ran away with it. You didn't give Jersey a chance to come back. You held the ground, and you changed every aspect of your gameplay in a way to give you that win.
And you were wondering what changed between games 1 and 2 and the remainder of the series. Well, I think, and I'll posit this as a potential hypothesis, is that maybe Jersey was more comfortable playing their game in games 1 and 2, but then Pittsburgh started getting the edge in terms of the overall demos capacity that they had. And Jersey started leaning into that a little bit more than I think they necessarily needed to. And it leaves them out of position. You could see that to great effect in this game number 5, where there were just a lot of balls played over the head, a lot of overcommits on the side of the Jackals, where they were chasing demos that they didn't necessarily need to go for. So if Pittsburgh is able to kind of get under the skin of teams, not only in this preseason tournament, but in the regular season, you could see that in a full 5-game set where it might not start out so great for them, but they're able to battle back and get themselves a little bit more success as the series goes on.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, again, just the way they shifted, they took control of the pace of the game and they made Jersey play their game. Jersey not ready for that, not ready for the faster play Pitt was playing, and it kept forcing those overcommits, trying to get any opportunity at the net, and they weren't quite able to pick up the pace enough.
And so, with that, Pittsburgh will move on to the next round. It looks like, based off of the bracket that I currently have looking at, it's Mexico City, a date with them in the semifinals, and Atlanta and Chicago will be the other match in that semifinal round. But this is just the first game that we have on stream for this Linguini League preseason tournament. We've got more Linguini League Rocket League coming your way right after this break. You don't want to go anywhere. Don't miss it.